Hello everyone, welcome to another lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about while loop and functions. In this section of the course, I'm going to talk about the usage of while loops, and also we will dive deeper in functions. In previous lessons, you studied what function is, but today we are going to dive deeper inside functions. Alright, what is a while loop? You already studied for loop, and we used for loop to iterate over items inside list and sequences. But a while loop repeats code as long as the condition remains true. It's like giving your program's instruction to keep doing something until you tell it to stop. Okay, the condition is checked. This is very important. It first checks the conditions before each iterations, making it perfect for situation where you don't know exactly how many times to repeat. So this is the syntax. We have while, and then we have condition. After that, we have a block of code, and it will runs repeatedly until the condition is false. Okay, so this is a very simple example. We have value 5, which is stored inside variable count. Now I am trying to write a code while a loop. This is how can I write that? While count is greater than 0, then print count, and then minus count by 1. It will repeats until the value is greater than 0. Okay, the output will be looking like this. For example, 5 4 3 2 1. Let me give you example. Okay, as I said, we have a variable count, and the value which is stored inside count is 5. Now I want to write a while loop. I say while count greater than 0, then do this. I say okay, print count, and then count is equal to count minus 1. Okay, it starts from 5. Okay, while count is greater than 0. Okay, 5 is greater than 0. That's good. It prints that 5, in this case 5. So it does the actions again. For example, okay, right now count minus 5 minus 1, which is equal to 4. Again, it checks that. Is 4 greater than 0? Yes, it prints 4 in this case. And 4 minus 1, which is equal to 3. Okay, now again it checks 3. 3 is greater than 0. Yes, it prints 3, and then 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. Now 2 is greater than 0. Yes, it prints 2, and then 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. Okay, again it comes and does the same action again and over again. 1 is greater than 0. Yes, it prints 1, and then 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. In this case, it is equal to 0. It comes count, which is equal to 0. 0 is greater than 0. No, in this case it does not print that. Okay, this is how while loops works. Now let's run my code. You can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We use while code in situation that you want to repeat the action until it gets false. Otherwise, it will repeats and repeats. So this is the first example, and right now we have another example. Okay. I want to comment this one because I am no longer using it. I have to comment that. Now I give you another example, you will understand that better. Okay, I have a variable which is called answer. Answer is empty. Okay. Now I say while answer is not equal to yes. In this case, you take input from user, for example, input. Do you like Python? Do you like Python? After you get this input from user, it should be stored inside answer, variable answer. Okay. Now let me run my code. Do you like Python? See how does it work? I say in my code, while the answer is not equal to yes, it will repeat, it will runs forever unless the answer is yes. For example, I say, do you like Python? It should repeat, ask me again. You can see, do you like Python? I say, You can see it ask me again, do you like Python? I say, Do you like Python? I say, nope. Now it is asking me repeatedly unless the answer is equal to yes. Right now, if I want to write yes, the condition is met. You can see right now it is finished. The process is finished. This is how while loop is working. Alright, this is the second example, and okay, please keep in mind that while loops, while the condition is true, it will loops. This loop never stops because the true is always true. Okay, it will showing you the message. For example, it will running forever. While true print, this is running forever. Let me give you this example. I have to write or comment this. I say, okay, while true right now, please print this is running forever. Once I run my code, it will run forever. Oops. While spelling mistake. Okay, now if I want to run my code again, you can see it is running forever. It is running forever. It will not stop unless I press Ctrl C. Now it stops. So you have to be careful about that. While the condition is true, it will run forever. So how to stop? As I said, press Ctrl with C, okay, in terminal, or use stops button in your code editor. Always ensure that your condition can become false. So how can you stop that? Now let's come to function. As I said in my previous lessons, we use functions when we have a reusable code. You write your code and you want to use it multiple times in the future or inside your project. And it helps you to organize, to have an organized structure, okay? Breaks complex problems into smaller and manageable pieces that are easier to understand and debug. This is the goals of function. Okay, I talked to you about how to define your functions. There are some steps. The first step is you use div keyword. Then you use descriptive name. Okay, for example, according to your goals and purpose, you use descriptive name so it will be understood easily by the other Python developers. And also you use parentheses with colon. After that, inside your functions, you write your codes. In this case, I write a functions, for example, greet, and I said, okay, print hello. This is the first block of code, and the second block of code, print how are you today, print nice weather, isn't it? Now, let me define this function. Oops. For defining function, as I said, we use div keyword. After that, in the second step, you use descriptive name. For example, the goal of this function is to greet someone or somebody or user, for example, greet. Now, inside this function, okay, I use also parentheses and colon. After that, inside function, I write my code. Okay, I say print hello and how are you, and I want to write another code again. I say how old are you. So this is how I created function. First I use div keyword. After that I use descriptive name with parentheses and colon. After that, I used or I have written my code inside my function. My goal is to use these functions multiple times inside my project. For example, I have multiple users and I have a lot of users. I cannot write a code to displays for each users. To write a code for each user because it will be time consuming and it is very bothersome. Now with this code, 3 line of codes, I can use it for 100 users. How can I do that? Do you remember right now if I run my code, nothing will happen, nothing happens. Now if I want to now if I want to use this, I have to call this function. Okay, I simply call this by writing the name of the function. You can see hello and how are you, how old are you. Okay, it is very simple and easy. As I said, if you want to use your function, you call it. Okay, let me give you another example. I am removing this. Okay, with functions we have parameters. Inside parentheses we use parameters. If you remember, the goal of the function is, okay, we take inputs from the users and we produces output, in this case name. Okay, so I have one parameter name and I want to use that hello. If you remember if string, in this case we use if string name. Okay, that's good. I am writing another print statement. I use if string again. How are you? Name. Right now, if I want to print run my code, nothing will happen. The reason is that I didn't call my function. Okay. Now I used input for my functions. Okay, I have to call my function greeting, and for the name I use Amin Yusuf. Okay, this is the parameters or input. In this case, the parameter or input is Amin Yusuf. Once I run my code, you can see hello Amin Yusuf. How are you, Amin Yusuf? This is how the function is working. As I said, we write a function to use it multiple times. In this case, I use it for one user. If I want to use for the second user, okay, I have many users. I say for example, Shukriya. Shukriya is my second user. You can see hello Amin Yusuf. How are you, Amin Yusuf? Right now, hello Shukriya, and how are you, Shukriya? This is the second. Shukriya is my second users, and right now I want to use it for my third user, for example, Fatima. You can see I used these 3 lines of code for 3 users. I can use it for 100 users, 1000 users. This is the purpose of and goals of function. Okay, I described about function parameters. In this case, the name is the function parameters. If I want to create another function, for example, okay, let me comment my code because I want to write another function. Now I want to write another function like addition, which add 2 numbers. In this case, I ask users to enter 2 inputs. I have 2 parameters, A and B. I say, okay, once the user entered input, please return the sum of A and B. If I want to run my code, as you can guess, nothing happens because I didn't call my function. Right now, I say, please input 2 numbers. For A, I input 1. For B, I input 3. In this case, A plus 3, which is equal to 4. Why did not? Okay, what happened? Sorry. It should be stored inside a variable sum, then I will print sum. Now it should be working fine. You can see 4. This way you can write your functions yourself. Okay, maybe you write a function for subtraction. In this case, I want to change this to minus b, and I change the name to sub. If I want to call that, now the result will be minus 2. You can see this is minus 2. This is how you define your function. Thank you very much. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and have a good day.